Welcome to another exciting video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to create a detail cut from scratch. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to we'll start in our paper space. We'll start generating our detail cut in paper space. So what I want to do is I'm going to want to go to my tools here, go to my home keys. I want to go to L. I want to go to my circle. I want to create a circle that is a radius. When I click on my circle, I'm going to click you want to click center radius diameter. We're going to click here, and we want our diameter to be 1/2 inch because we're in paper space. So that's as big as I want my detail cut to be. I'll color it, doesn't matter, I'll make it green for now. And then what the next thing I want to do is I want to just create the line work for it like I'm doing right now. Then what I'll do is I'll match properties there. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to add text to it. So to do that, I can create attributes for it now, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to type in ATT, and I'm going to create what is called an attribute. Basically, an attribute is it's a way of creating like a text box, so that you can always change the text within the box in your detail block. So the first box is just giving it a name of or a reference to what the actual text is going to be. So this is we're just going to call it ID for the number of the detail, and then for the prompt we'll just call it ID also, and then for the default we'll just do 2 lines like that. I want the text height to be at 1/8 of an inch, and then I want it to be, it can be standard. We can do standard like that, and we'll do middle. We'll do middle right. I think middle right will be, or middle center, and then we'll click OK, and then we'll set our attribute right there. We'll just eyeball it for now, just like that. And then we're gonna type in ATT again, and we're gonna activate the attribute definition, but this time we're gonna do the sheet. So we'll call this, for the destination, we'll call it sheet. We'll call this prompt, we'll call it sheet. And then for the default, we'll do 3 lines. And then for the text, we'll do 1/8 of an inch, just like that. And we'll leave it as standard. We want it to be middle centered for our justification, and then we'll click OK, and we'll set it right there. We'll just try to get it in the middle, just like that. Just around there, we'll eyeball it. So once we have that, I do want to draw a leg, because it's going to be a detail cut. We'll call it leg. We'll do the leg. I just want to turn on my orthos. There we go. We'll make it about that long. Sounds great. Next thing I want to do is I want to create a block out of this. So to do that, I'm going to go to my edit command. I'm going to go to my option that says copy with the base point, just like that. We'll choose that one, and we'll use this. We'll use the intersection between the line and the circle there, and then I'm going to grab the entire detail cut, and then press enter. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to go back to my edit, and I want to paste as a block like that. And the reason I want to do that is because when you do that, it'll activate your attributes. So now I can call this detail 1. We'll call this S 2.0, and then we'll click enter. Actually, the other way around. So ID should have been 1. Got these upside down. ID, and then this is supposed to be S 2.1, just like that. Perfect. So there's my. If you double click on it, oh, why doesn't it let me double click? That's odd. Oh, because my viewports, I activated my viewport. So that's why. So I'll make sure it's locked. So now if I click on my detail bubble, you can see now it automatically activates the attributes. So I can always change these inputs, which is great. The next thing I want to do to my detail cut is I want to make this into a dynamic block. What I mean by that is I want this leg to be able to rotate around, be able to stretch it. Because right now, I mean, it works, but it's kind of limited to what I can do with it. You know, I can move it, but then, you know, it's very limited to what the things I can do with it. So to convert this to a dynamic block, I can either double click on this, which it won't let me do anything. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go to my tool. I want to go to my home ribbon and click on edit. And what I want to do is I want to be able to locate this block that I created. And just I'm going to browse through here. And there it is. There's the block. This is the block I just created. So what we want to do with this is we want to convert this block into a dynamic block. So we're going to open it just like that. And once we open it, we can start making it into a dynamic block by, first of all, clicking on the authorizing palette here. And once I click on this, it's going to bring in the palettes that I need to convert this to a dynamic. The first thing I want to do is I want to set my parameters, and then after you set your parameters, you set your actions. So that's how you go about creating dynamic blocks. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set the length here. So we want to choose the one that says length. First point there, you want to select the second point, drag it up, and then the next thing you want to do is since we're only going to be stretching this point and not that point, you gotta let AutoCAD know that you only want this point to be active and not that point. To do that, you gotta click on your element like that. Click on your element and then do a Control-1 to access your properties of your parameter. And then you want to change the number of grips. You want to change that to 1. And that's exactly what we want. See, now only 1 grip is activated. The next thing you want to do is we assign the parameter. Now we need to assign an action. So to assign the action, you need to go to your next tab, the actions ones, and then we're going to select the one that says stretch, because that's what we want to do. We want to stretch. We'll click on it, and the first thing it's going to ask us is to click a parameter we want to stretch, and that would be this parameter. And then it's going to ask us what point do you want to stretch? Start stretching from. We want to stretch from there. And then it's going to ask you select the line work that you want to actually stretch. So you just do a box like that, and then you press enter, and then there you go. It's activated. And to test it, you can test the block and go to your test option here. You click on that and try it out. See if it works. And that's awesome. Now that works. I can see that it's working perfectly, which is great. So now I can just close the test block, go back to here. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to create a rotation for this. To do that, you have to go back to your parameters and choose the rotation option first. It's going to ask you to specify the base point of your rotation. We don't want it to rotate based on that point there. We want it to be this point. And then it's going to ask you for the radius. And since we wanted to go 360, we're just going to click there, because as you can see, all the dots that go around is telling you that it'll do a 360 rotation. I'll click there and click again, and then we got the rotation now for that parameter. Next thing we want to do is we want to add the action to our parameter. To do that, we choose the one that says rotation. And the same thing again, it's going to ask us to grab the parameter, grab this parameter, and then grab all the objects that you want to rotate. And of course we want the leg, and the distance, and the stretch command to rotate with the parameter. And once we grab everything within that we want rotated, we press enter, and we should be ready to go. So the next thing we want to do is we want to test this to see if it's working. So we're going to go to our test the block and try it out and see if it works. It's not letting me rotate. So we did something wrong here. So that's fine, we can close the parameter. So we did something wrong here. So there's something that's not driving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete this again, like that. I'm going to again quickly do the rotation. Do the rotation up to there of the radius. And then we're going to type in 360, enter. I think that's what we did wrong. We didn't type in 360. We had it at 0. And then we're going to go to our actions. We're going to click on our rotation again. We're going to grab our parameter. And then we're going to select all the objects that we want to rotate. And then press enter again. Now let's go back to testing our block. And hopefully, cross our fingers, it should work. But it's not working. I wonder why it's not working. It's not wanting to rotate. Let's try this one more time. We'll close it. And what we'll do this time around is we'll delete it again. We'll go again to our parameters. We'll go to rotate. We'll choose that point. We'll choose the radius. We want to go that radius. We want our angle to be 360. Enter. And then we'll go to our actions. We'll do the rotate again. We'll click on our parameter. And then we'll click on our objects. And test it. And now it's working. Now it's working. I guess the third time was a charm, but now if I undo my ortho command, let me see here. There you go. It does everything I wanted it to do. It's great. I can stretch it. I can stretch it. I can make it longer, bigger. I can rotate it. I can even type in the angle I want the leg at, and it'll make it at that angle. Now the last step is very crucial. This step is very crucial. Once you're done with it, what you want to do is, before you close out of your test, first of all. What you want to do is you want to go to this tab here, but you don't want to just click Save Block, because it'll just save it to the local drawing that you have. You want to create this as an individual. You want to save this as an individual dynamic block so that you can use it on multiple drawings. So to do that, you want to click on the Open and Save option here, and you want to select the Save as Block. And once we do that, we're going to call this detail. We'll call it detail detail cut. We'll call it. And then we're going to click this. Make sure you click on the Save Block definition to the drawing file. And I'll tell you guys why this is very important. You want to click on that, click OK, and then just select where you want to save it. So we'll save it here on our, we'll save it there. So we saved it on our local folder. And then what I'm going to do is bring that folder over and bring that detail cut over. So I'm going to do that quickly. Just give me a second as I do that. Okay, let me see. Paste it. So I brought that detail over now. So now I saved it as a block right here. So this is its own little block. And the cool thing about this is that now if I were to double click on this, now it's its own dynamic block, and you're gonna get this pop-up window because we chose, when we saved it, we chose that we wanted it to open with the block editor every time we open the drawing. And what this does is, if we wanted to add more features to this dynamic block, we'll get this pop-up window. All we have to do is select yes, and then we can add more features to it, which is great. So I'm gonna close out of this now, and then I want to show you how powerful this new dynamic block is. So now that we have it here, I'm going to reopen this sheet here again, and then this sheet I didn't save anything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in that new dynamic block that we just created. So I'm gonna go to the Insert tab, and then we're gonna go. We don't want to do reference. Yes, reference. We want to go to the directory and grab the detail cut. We want to open it, and once we open it, we click OK here. Okay, it's bringing it as an express. We don't want to do that. So to bring it as a block, just type in I to insert, and then you can do a browse, and then we'll browse, and we'll grab it from here. We'll click open, and then we can drop it in here. Click anywhere in model space, and then we can call this sheet 2.0, and we'll call this detail 1, and we'll click OK, and there it is. And you're probably asking, why is it so small? The reason it's so small is because when we created this block, we created it in model space. So in model space, we were actually we were 101 in model space. Now, when you're in paper space, everything here is scaled. So we have to scale this up to our scale of our drawing. So if we click on it and if we click Control 1, you'll see that it's 101. So since our scale is at 1/4 equals a foot, the scale factor is 48. So we want to change this to 48. And once we do that, we'll be at the proper scale. And now you can use the detail cut. And it's great. Now I can go there, grab it, and then I can, if I have my snaps on, I can, snap perpendicular, and there you go. We're all set. So I hope this video was of great help and help you guys in generating your own custom dynamic blocks. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit me up with a like, and I'll see you guys till the next one. Bye.